Stop chasing wheelchairs, Terry. What is up, Ham Radio? Kilo Echo 8, Papa Zulu November, the Ham Radio Adventure Guy. Thanks for stopping by. Your one stop for everything Adventure Radio. It is Hump Day. Time for the Hump Day Happy Hour. We got a great stream tonight. We're going to be joined by Mr. Whiskey One Radio, Charlie Papa, a.k.a. Mickey Mouse.
All right.
And it's going to be a good time. But before we do, we're going to thank these guys right here. They are the Patreons, and they are full of fun at big events. Let me tell you, when we get together, it is some epic times. And we got some of those coming up. Huntsville's coming up. I've got a meetup in Nashville coming up. So, really good time coming up for the Patreons as well. Also, shout out to the YouTube members. Nice to see a third rover in there finally. I like to see it get more even, but shout out to all of them. And then the ever-changing board. Thanks very much, Kent, for the off-stream donation. And we had a couple moving around in there. I don't remember who right off the top of my head. But what we did do is we just got done before this stream, myself and Dan, and we did the second quarter giveaway for the Adventure Club. And we had Steven, who won a HRAG t-shirt. So, Steven, you'll need to reach out to me and give me your size and which one you want. And Mr. Kilo 8 Golf Quebec. You don't got to call me more than once about this, but you did get a hiker antenna, Terry. So, congratulations to Terry. And then after that, we did the PZN challenge for the second quarter winner. And November 4th, Charlie Whiskey Bravo also won a hiker antenna. So, I'll be giving those names to Chris, and he'll be getting them out shortly. So
you get a hiker. You get a hiker. You get a hiker. Everybody gets a hiker.
Lots of I'll tell you what, that's 3 hikers this week I've given away.
Absolutely.
So, I'm not saying that I keep hikers in the basement with lots of lotion on the skin, but,
What you do in your basement, your basement. With that, happy Hump Day, everybody. How is everybody doing? Andy Callie, good to see you as always. Kent, Kilo 9 Alpha Echo is in the chat. Hello to you. Hello, Cornbread. Larry, Victor Echo 3, Lima Bravo India. Good to see you. Toby, good to see you. And sorry I missed your activation the other day. I was working. It sucked. John Carr, K8 NIV. Glad to see you feeling a little bit better, buddy. Kilo 4 Lima India. Good to see you. Our antenna guru is always here, KO4FSZ. Go check out his antennas, KO4FSZ.com. For a good one. Kilo 8 Golf Quebec, one of the hiker winners. And let's see who else we got. Larry, good to see you. Reed, AB8AS, good to see you, buddy. John Carr again. Kilo Oscar 4 November, Lima, the smoking POTA is with us in the chat. Georgia Parks and Propagation, not Ron. That's Chris.
Recreation, Ron.
Alpha Echo 4 X-Ray Oscar, good to see you, buddy. Sidewalk Sherry is in the chat. Man, we got a house full today. Paul Hotman, good to see you. Wingnut Bravo, Craig. Cornbread again. Liz and fam, hello. Peter Frey. from you and Cameron. Good to see everybody in the chat and Eastern Standard Time. We got a good house full today on this Wednesday. And hello to our guest, Whiskey One Radio Charlie Papa.
Whiskey One, Robbie Camp, POTA.
That's right.
Good evening, everybody. Hello.
Oh, we're definitely going to have some fun tonight. But Chris actually referred to himself as Ron during one of my CW activations this week.
That is great.
And speaking of CW, I told these guys backstream. I tell you, we all know I'm not a rag chewer in sideband, but I'm definitely not a rag chewer in CW. And I'll tell you what, today I got tested hardcore because I had this Canada station who I could barely even understand his call sign the way he was sending it. You know, I question marked it a couple of times. Then he proceeds to start asking me questions, some of which I understood, some of which I didn't. I did get out that he wanted my QTH, so I sent him that. Then he asked me my call, and I'm like, where's this guy calling me from? He's not calling me from the photo page, obviously. So I give him my call. Then he said, age, I'm 91.
Wow.
At this point, I'm like, oh no, this guy's never going to stop talking. And luckily,
well, he will eventually.
Alpha Bravo 9 Charlie Alpha must have sensed that I was in panic mode. So he throws out his call sign, and I answered him and ended that quickly. But yeah, it was some crazy stuff.
That is awesome. It's good to see people that old still, plugging the CW and still out there on the airwaves, though. So that's a good sign.
91, man. I hope I'm still plugging away CW like that. And
you're still going to be doing 10 Park Roads.
Somebody's telling people about me, like, that guy wouldn't shut up.
You're going to be out there.
He just kept sending banana pudding over and over and over.
You're going to be out there with your walker with the tennis balls on it, doing parks.
No, listen, I have a plan for when I get older like that. I've been hanging around Terry's house, and one of them girls is going to store that hover around outside one night, and I'm going to get me one, and I'm going to soup it up and make it four-wheel drive, and I'll be set to go then.
There you go. Maybe he can will you one. Yeah. Life Hack Lab. I almost said Life Hack Jab. I don't know why. Good to welcome to the chat. Good to see you, buddy. Good evening.
Anyway, Robbie, how you been, man?
Man, I've been all right. School started back this week for teachers. I'm a teacher. I teach engineering. And so I've been busy with that. Of course, I've been busy a lot with the W1RCP channel. And some good news. I hit 1,000 last week. Hooray for Mickey Mouse.
Awesome.
So yeah, that was kind of cool. I'm excited to see what the algorithm YouTube does with that. And other than that, sleeping, eating, and working.
That's awesome. Do you already have your watch hours and everything?
Nope.
All right. Well, that means he needs some watch hours, guys. You guys are gonna have to help him by go watching some of his videos for him.
Yeah, I think I need 400 more watch hours.
Oh, that's not bad at all. Yeah, the watch hours are the toughest ones to get, in my opinion.
Yep. And it's trying to find that balance between. I think Parks and Propagation is also doing the same study with his channel. What keeps their attention? Is it the short ones? Is it the long ones? But also, I haven't done a live stream in a really long time.
Yeah.
The dogs bark too much.
Well, I'll tell you, the shorter ones keep their attention better, for sure. I know it seems like it doesn't help the watch hours, but anytime I do a video that is over 7 minutes long, you can forget about the whole thing being watched.
Absolutely. Yep, but then when I post videos of I go with the long format of activation videos, and you don't have to watch the whole thing. Go find where I contacted you. Look for the Alpha 0 Zulu. I swear that dude knows where all of the Easter eggs are in the video, and he'll message me. Oh, I found an Easter egg.
And that's the good thing about Robbie's channel. There's always the little Easter egg in there that you can find. that you're gonna be happy that you watched that video for.
Hey, Curtis. Good evening, Curtis. Roger.
Roger.
I'm glad I see you in the chat, Curtis, because I need to talk to you. Are you going to Huntsville?
Please be at Huntsville.
We're not going to say another word on the stream until we get an answer either, Curtis. So.
Yes, Robbie does the best Mickey Mouse
Yes,
voice.
he's going.
Yes.
All right, good deal.
Awesome.
So I will get up with you in Huntsville. Nothing bad, only good things. But it's funny because when I'm in a park and Robbie breaks one of my huge pile-ups with his Mickey Mouse voice, my whole pile-up will go silent because they might not even heard Robbie because he screamed Mickey Mouse in the pile when everybody was calling their call signs. But the problem is I do my Mickey Mouse back, and it's silent when I'm doing my back.
They don't know what happened. And
They
you know,
don't-
one time I did it and somebody was like, he's impersonating a female. That ain't fair. And I chimed in and said, it's Mickey Mouse. All right. Let's go.
you know, it wouldn't matter if you are impersonating a female because what gets you through that pile up, I can't tell you how many ham radio operators across the country have had their wives, which are not ham radio operators, come into their shack and tell them to throw out their call sign.
Yep.
Because
I wish
a woman or a kid will break a pile up a lot faster.
I wish I would have heard that guy said he's impersonating a female to break a pile up, because I would have keyed up with every dang watt I had and goes, that's Mickey, not Minnie.
I'm surprised you weren't there as much as you've hunted. That was back in the day when we were all right. We got that notification. We were there.
Yep.
Yeah. Back in the day, back when I had the hardcore group of hunters, you know, I miss those days, and not because
Guilty.
I'm not getting, you know, plenty of people to hunt me now, but I'm getting the new age POTA people who go to bed a lot earlier than the old school, the old guard, man. The old guard, I don't care if I spotted at 2 a.m. I got 30, 40 contacts at 2 a.m. Now you spot, you know, 11:30, you're pushing an activation sometimes.
Yeah, you need to have the crew back with you that'll stay up, you know, with you until 5 a.m. on a road, you know. Yes, sir.
Yep, I had to go to sleep. I remember that one, and I was.
Well, so did PP Man, but we still give him hell about it too. So.
I've got hardcore hunters, but it's nowhere like it was. Like you have no idea. Like I used to be. I could post in Discord, say, "Hey, I'm doing an all night road. Who's in?" And I never failed to have under 25 people that would stay up all night and hunt me at every park. You know,
you had, and you also had the same 25 people wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning because you said you were going to wake up at 7, but you didn't decide to do anything until 8. We could have got 2 hours sleep.
Listen, I ran out of parks. You know, the last 2 parks I did in that rove, I spent long periods of time at because I was just out of parks.
Yeah.
I should have prepared 50 for that rove. I should have. Because it could have been done.
Yep. And for those that don't know, that James has a Discord, and after the show on Wednesdays, we go hang out in the after chat. And Toby at a certain point in time would just start saying POTA, 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 and force James to go out at 11:30 at night to go to a park.
Yeah, that used to be that back the old original Patreon crew. You know, now we'll sit in there and we'll talk till 11. That's not a problem. But now back then, Robbie's right. Toby would be in there, and about 10:30, 11 o'clock, he would start chanting POTA until everybody in the room was chanting POTA, and I went out.
You know what's funny about this is also last year when Terry was employed full time, right? So
It was.
he would stay up until 3, 4 o'clock in the morning hunting you, and then go to work at 7. But now, Terry's retired, and he has to be in bed by at least 9 o'clock.
He's got to have that energy to chase those wheelchairs. I mean, it
That's
says it right in the beginning
I'm telling you,
at the 2-minute mark.
isn't it weird how stuff like that happens?
You know, it is kind of weird, you know, but he's still an early riser for sure. I'll give him that.
Yeah, he was out at the park this morning earlier. I got him on 40, but I could not hear him on 20, and normally I do. And then all of a sudden, for the rest of the day, the bands were just. Bleh.
Yep. When I had to work at 6:55 in the morning, 40 meters is not awake yet.
Yeah. I imagine it is probably just.
I can remember those days because I would actually my first activation back in the day would be 80 meters. You know, I would be out about 7 o'clock doing 80 meters. And back when I was a bartender, you could count on me at 10 till 8 every morning.
Yep.
At whatever park I was currently trying to eagle.
And that's
every
where
single day I would be there.
And Toby would call me out and say, "Oh, Robbie's got haul duty."
Yeah, that's right.
But anyway, Robbie, in case anybody lives in the Stone Age, just tell us a little bit about yourself and your channel. Way we can maybe get you a few more subscribers tonight.
Oh, absolutely. I love to talk. But I'm Robbie, and I'm Whiskey 1, Robbie Can't POTA. And that's all because of James is hearing problems. But it stuck, and it's freaking awesome. And so I only started about a year ago with my YouTube channel. If you go back to the very beginning, you'll notice that there was a fishing video at the beginning, because that's the only video I posted was a picture of a video of my sister or my son and me fishing. And I said, you know, I do cool stuff. I need to share that stuff with other people. So that's why it's amateur radio, POTA, and projects, is because I do all those things. Here lately, there's been some WinLink stuff I've been doing. I've been messing around with the DigiRig and making different connectors for that. Those videos, yes, he can, Larry. Making connected connectors for that, and those videos haven't even posted yet. But then I also do all kinds of stuff. I've got the extra license exam out there. I went through all 50 sections and did some research and tried. So if you want to go for extra, those videos are out there in a playlist. And I just love ham radio, and I love playing out in the parks. And I think Parks on the Air is between that and Eddie. Parks on the Air and Eddie, Kilo Oscar 4 November Lava. Between those two, you know, having a friend who lives nearby really can keep you invigorated. And, you know, poor guy, he had to listen to me talk about ham radio for almost 10 years before he got into it. And I think that's all I have to say about that.
But you have the study guides for the question reviews for technician that I saw. Did you say you have them for extra?
I have them for the technician and for the newest extra. So those videos are good for 3 years and 11 months.
And the newest extra is either out right now or coming up very soon, right?
It was July 1st.
Yep. There you go.
July 1st.
Are you planning on doing general?
Maybe when the new one comes around.
The reason why I'm asking is I know your technicians videos have helped at least one person that I know of personally study for their test. So.
Awesome. That's great. I said that if the extra, because the extra was extra, I said if that helps one person, I don't care if they get another view.
Yep.
And immediately on like July 3rd or 4th, a guy put a comment and said, "I passed my extra. Thank you."
I'm going to start looking at them myself too. I didn't know you had the extras up because we've been looking at the technicians.
Yeah, the extra is a beast.
Yeah,
it is a beast. But I have one video in that playlist. After I did all 50 videos, I went and I took a practice exam. I recorded it as I took it. I didn't cheat, and I passed that junk.
Nice.
I'm already an extra, but still, you know, I started doing some trivia. Wasn't real popular, probably because I wasn't popular. But it's amazing what we forget as amateur radio operators.
Hey, thank you very much, Chris, for the super chat, and you're absolutely correct. Awesome videos on Robbie's YouTube. Mike says he's enjoying the extra videos. I tell you,
That's the wrong terminology. Enjoying?
I tell you, when I did my extra was kind of a last minute decision thing. So you know, of course, I'm weird like that. Everything's weird with me. So basically, Tristan, the owner of Eagle One, who's in my club, he messaged me and he said, this is before he owned Eagle One. He said, "We're testing this weekend." I said, "Yeah." He said, "I think I'm going to take my extra." And this is on Wednesday evening after my stream, and he sends me that. And I was like, Wednesday, Saturday. All right, I'm taking my extra too because I'm not going to let him beat me.
He's going Thursday, Friday.
So,
boy,
you want to talk about cramming between POTA and studying for my extra? I did nothing else. I don't even know if I ate between those days. I couldn't tell you. But when I got done with that test and I handed it in, first off, I thought I failed when I handed it in. But I handed it in, and my head immediately felt like it was going to blow up. Like I was overwhelmed so much with now, mind you, I didn't do the study to learn routine. I did memorize. I did word association. Memorize a word in the question, a word in the proper answer, and that's how I did all three of my exams. And everything I learned on ham radio, I learned doing ham radio.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's the deal. That really is the deal. I had this very conversation today. You know, I can't give you the full specifics of it because if I say it live on the internet, I'll get in trouble. But you can read all you want, but until you touch a dial and see what happens, you're not learning.
No.
Until you know the first time that you fry your first homemade QRP rig and you go, I won't do that again because I've been there. I did it. Oops. The first time that you have a bad SWR on a vertical antenna and you realize, wow, I wrote down all of these numbers wrong. And you can watch it on at least two of my videos with the MFJ 1898. I tuned it for 20 meters trying to do 40 or vice versa. So you learn by doing, and like Parks and Propagation, you know, he's out there experimenting with the ether, trying to see what happens.
until you take a brand new internal battery on a brand new radio and go to plug it in, and the wires are so thin, and you press too hard, and the smoke starts rolling out of that battery, and you try to pull it back apart, and you scorch your hand, and then you run the battery out and stick it in a trash can on your porch, and it still sits there.
Yeah,
because you're scared it's going to blow up. You ain't learned nothing. Not that or nothing.
That's why I'm hoping the videos he has for extra will help me absorb the information, because right now my primary problem is motivation to read the book and study, because I'm a general and I really don't need extra, you know, to do what I do. I might miss a couple POTA parks here and there that are in the extra portion of the band. It was a really big motivation for me to upgrade from technician to general level so I could get on the HF bands, you know, other than that little section of 10 meters. So right now I'm trying to find that motivation to get myself to, you know, get that extra.
Well, here, you know, the incentive based, they call it the incentive based upgrade. Well, you know, from general to extra, there really isn't much incentive.
Yeah.
You don't get much with it other than the headache of the test. The reason I did it wasn't for the extra space, because, you know, I may not even get along with the people that hang out down in the extra places, especially on CW. You go with low 7.025 or Yeah, 7.025. They're too fast for me. But what I did it for was so that I could give back in the VE testing, because a general can only test a technician. A technician can't test anybody, but an extra, you can test everybody. And that's why I did it, so that in my little area, I could give back.
Yeah, that's true. And Larry said, well, with the call sign, with the upgrade, you could also apply for a vanity call sign and get a shorter call sign. Yeah, that's true, but I'm not going to change my call sign. So, yeah.
Well, I changed mine once because I didn't like mine. Now, Eddie has said he can't change his. That Lima Lima just really, between Mickey Mouse and Lima Lima, they can bust a pile up.
If I hear Lima Lima anywhere in a pile up that I'm the activator on, it's one of two people.
It's either Eddie or
And
Eddie.
and they're both named Eddie.
That's right. But yeah, hopefully I can get the notification. My goal is by Huntsville. I'm gonna try to take it in Huntsville, but I've been sidetracked here lately, doing some other stuff. But we'll try it in Huntsville regardless. See what happens.
Well, it was pointed out to me by a commenter 2 days ago. I did read one question wrong, and I'm gonna blame it on ADD 100%, because the right answer was there. My drawing of Alf going around the Earth in the satellite episode. I don't remember, but probably in the 7 range maybe, or the 3 range. But the satellite episode I read ascending is from north to south, and it is totally south to north. So check the comments just in case, because folks are I can't think of the word now. Dang. It's the nice way of criticize. Constructive criticism. There we go. I like constructive criticism.
So you haven't got the hate you criticism yet?
I have not seen any curmudgeons on those sets of videos. Now,
Okay.
I stirred up a real poo storm with the whole, is the FCC bringing back CW? And
that was funny.
I was just ranting on that. That was not scripted. I was just ranting. And when I got to the end, I went, oh man, this is kind of like clickbait. And I even said it in the video. I said, this is clickbait, I think, but I hope you learned something.
It does not matter, because this comes right back to the keeping people's attention, like we were talking about at the beginning. So me and Dan talked about, the new POTA bands being moved into the new Ultra Extra class. And we talked for a good bit of the stream about the Ultra Extra. Then finally we both laughed about it and said, we're just playing with y'all. It's shenanigans, guys. It didn't matter, because still the next day, both of us received emails. The videos kept receiving comments. Like, everybody's like, where do I get the exam for the Ultra Extra to study? And oh,
we should have told him to contact Robbie. He's the VE for it.
Oh,
he's the only.
I knew y'all were messing around with that, but I'm glad to hear the feedback of what happened. But even I think it was Alpha Alpha Zero Zulu. I think he said, "Wow, you found the format."
Yeah.
To oh my God, the comments would not. I'm so glad that video is starting to take a back seat. It got over 11,000 views, and I think over 300 or 400 comments. I was overwhelmed by that. I said, this isn't what I wanted. But in actuality, it was. Eddie just called me a lid magnet.
What you need to do, Rob, is you need to release a video that the FCC is making people with their licensing renewals. They have to prove they've done at least one POTA activation, and watch the lids go nuts.
Oh my God!
You have to send in a certificate of at least one POTA activation and check into one roundtable net.
I couldn't even do that.
Oh my gosh!
That's probably one of the, as an amateur radio operator, nets, other than like the local nets where you're just sharing, hey guys, here's what I did, and then you're done in 10 minutes or so. depending on the size of your city. But HF nets, not my jam.
Well, I get it. They all have their purpose, but some of them that are just the dumbest topics you've ever heard of. And then there's other ones that's just old curmudgeons. They're not even nets. They're just old curmudgeons that want to talk, but they say they're a net to try to run people off their frequency.
Yeah, I get that. And that's why I say it's not for me, because, some people like it. And I did say that. I've seen several comments about the FT hate video, and that was scripted. That was, I actually sat down and word saladed a legit 1,500 word essay about my thoughts about why folks do that and have to say something about it. And ADD just kicked in. I forgot where I was headed. Great.
Curtis is right. Before POTA, worked all states nets made sense. You could go there and try to get your worked all states. But now it worked all states do POTA. It's so much simpler.
And there's actually been a couple of activations that I've done. I want to say 3 activations out of my over 200. So it's not a huge percentage of my activations, but at least 3 times on an activation I've worked all states.
I tried to do that when I went to Alabama over the summer, and I lacked Hawaii.
Yeah.
It's the only state I didn't make a contact with. But yeah, the worked all states, it's funny you mention that, because actually single sideband Montana was the only one that I needed to have the ARRL's triple play. And that's really the only thing I just wanted a piece of paper for me. Because again, nobody else cares about our awards. But for me and the process, and this is another video that I'm working on, it's talking about the process. We can have finished products all we want, but our enjoyment has got to be with the process. The awards, they don't matter. I'm saying it right now. The POTA awards, they don't matter. But it's the process of actually getting there. I posted on the that Facebook group. I said, look who was my 1,000th contact. And they're like, wow, 1,000th contact on FDA. Great. Your computer did all the work.
It's kind of like if you would go climb K2 or Everest or something like that and get a piece of paper to hang on your wall saying, hey, I climbed Everest or K2 or Lotski or something like that. It's not that paper that you look back on. It's the memories of being there, the experience of doing that, the people you were with, the adventure of getting there and back home.
The people you're with. And that's why hanging out with you guys out at Huntsville, or when James comes close enough to Florida, we get together and just, we get stupid, but we have a great time at it. I mean, heck, there were 3 or 4 folks out of the HRAG Discord. They all threw me a surprise birthday party where Dan shows he's still at home and calls me on his 17, or was it 17 element 2 meter beam?
17 element beam on 2 meters. Yeah.
I was on my Bay of Fang, and I hear W1RCP, WD4, DAN. I was like, Dan, what's happening? And it's supposed to be a surprise. I wasn't supposed to know he was there. And he goes, oh, you didn't know? I have a 17 element beam up at 110 feet here in Valdosta. We idiots. We turned the camera off about 10 seconds before he did that. They had me.
That's great. That's great. And people don't get that the camaraderie that we have. I mean, with all POTA people, but especially our Discord and our Patreons, like it's just crazy. Like the stuff that we'll do together and stuff like that. It's just, I mean,
wasn't there one activation that you did that we all must have been on some kind of sauce, and some other guy on YouTube was like, would you listen to this?
That was them year before last in in
Ohio.
Oh, okay. The guy who thought that we were high and drunk because we were
Yeah,
having fun.
I didn't know what direction I didn't know what direction he was coming from with that video, but I was cracking up because I was like, I'm in that mess somewhere.
He did not mean anything negative in the video. He was saying, this is what radio's all about. These guys know how to have a good time, and and we were just doing our thing, our normal thing. And the funny thing was, there wasn't a single person in that RV that was activating with us that night that had touched anything. I mean, absolutely anything. We were just having fun. And when we worked the guy from Hannibal, and I was like, it rubs the lotion on the skin. That guy in this video loses it.
Yeah. Paul Hopman said he's still waiting to get Hawaii. I'm going to give you a tip from a POTA hunter here about how to get Hawaii. Get somewhere where your noise floor is low. If you have a S7 plus noise floor on 20 meters, you're probably not going to get Hawaii. If you can run portable, get out to a park. You don't have to go out there and activate. Just get out to a park or somewhere away from civilization a little bit where your noise floor is really low, and you will hear Hawaii no problem. Assuming the bands are skipping your direction. So.
And they're on.
Yep. But yeah, your noise floor is everything to do.
Because it's the same way hunting from my house. Hunting from my house, sometimes even James, like sometimes I can't hear him. Everybody else is getting him, but I can't hear him because S7, S5, S7 noise level kills here. But man, when I go out and play POTA, man, I love it because then when I'm done, I might go look at the spot page and say, hey, what kind of cool stuff can I pick up? Who's out there right now? And of course, I love all of our hunters, man, especially the repeats. There's Steve, I forget his call sign, but Steve out in Texas told me and Eddie one time, he's like, if you'd cut a couple inches off that antenna, you could cut that pile up right out.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, the hunters is what makes the activators go out there, because without the hunters, we wouldn't be doing the activations for sure.
Nope. Yeah, you can go watch a couple of those videos where guys would activate several, like before 2020, and to get 10 contacts was a huge challenge back then because there weren't that many hunters.
And that's why it still, I won't say bothers me because that's kind of harsh because it's not about me. It makes me wonder what somebody is doing wrong when I see posts on Facebook saying I called CQ for 2 hours and only got 5 contacts.
It's one of those, I think you need more information.
It's like
they usually don't put their call sign on it, so you can't go look up what class are you. Were they on 10 meters? Because I've sat on 10 meters a time or two and never caught any fish. But
I did 100 milliwatt activation, and it took me well under 2 hours to get activated. I would say not even 45 minutes.
And the bands could have been crap that day for you, just like craptastic, like you said the other day.
Yeah.
So I put that comment up there. I want to congratulate Kent, who hit 600 contacts at 1810.
Oh, the sidewalk has landed.
50 Shades of POTA. All right. Hey, thank you very much for the super chat.
Dang.
But yeah, 600 contacts at 1810.
That's killer.
That's, and it's funny because I can remember when I started POTA, I that was my first park I did. And then I did it again, and then I did it a third time. I was like, man, people's going to stop hunting me if I don't go to other parks. Everybody's going to want to continue to hunt this park.
That's just the select few that don't read the rules.
Yeah.
No, there's all kinds of awards to keep hunting parks, but that is 6 eagles at 1810.
That's insane. Yeah.
And now POTA recognizes those level.
One day I'll grow up and I'll have 6 eagles there. I've only got 4 eagles of activating 18. The funny part is though, out of I'm just going to take a guess. And out of Kent's 600 contacts at 1810, I'm going to bet you that 590 plus are me.
I was going to say 580, but yeah,
I'm going to say 590 plus.
I could definitely see that. Yeah, Curtis brings up a good point. If you complain that you couldn't activate a park, you just weren't prepared, or you didn't have all of your weapons at your disposal. Like you said, even if you're just a tech, 10 meter FT8. If you're just a tech, you also have CW privileges on some of the lower HF bands too. Keep that in mind. So
I have actually had a QSO back when I did Straight Key Century Club with a technician on 40 meters. And he said, I've got everything I want right here. I asked him if he wanted to upgrade. He said, I'm having a great time right now. I've got everything I need. He could do 40 meters. I think there's a smidgen of 80 that technicians can do.
I believe so.
That's 15.
That's just like little Kaylee Rose. Andrew and Rachel had their license. Then Seth and Nathan got theirs, and she was still a tech and couldn't hunt me, and they were all hunting me. And she learned to recognize her own call sign in CW, and she started memory keying me and hunting me on CW when she was a tech. And then, they all came down to Florida, and myself and Dan went out and activated with them. And while we were there, I got up with her and I said, she's the youngest one of them that has the license right now. And I said, when you get home, I forget what I gave her. I think I gave her a week to start keying my call sign instead of voice keying it. I think it took her like 2 or 3 days when she got home and she was sending her call sign. And she was the first one of the kids that was sending me the call sign. So, there's plenty of things you can do as a tech and still get activated.
Absolutely. Yep. So Curtis, you nailed that one.
Really, yeah. When I got to the park, I take all my weapons with me, even my laptop and USB cables and the little digi rig that stays in my bag. I'm not going to run digital, like FT8, FT4 type of digital. I run CW because that's like old school digital, right? But
yep.
But if push comes to shove, and for some reason I can't get anybody on sideband or anybody on CW, sure, I'll fire up FT8 as a very last resort. But I'm not going to fail an activation.
I try not to. There was one of my latest videos. I went out and I was like, I have 50 minutes until this thing ends, and I'm doing QRPCW. It's like, we'll see if it works. But a lot of those longer videos, the first 15 minutes is me looking for my key.
Yeah, that's true.
And then I gave up one time. I actually activated without a key. I used just the end of the TRS cable and grounded it to where the actual key starts the ignition, and made an activation that way.
That's right.
It's funny that you're talking about keys and stuff like that, because I did want to bring you on to try to help promote your channel a little bit, because I really enjoy it. But you can see a video of him making CW keys on there. And I'm going to tell you, he made me one of those keys. And I'm a Bengali person. I've got 2 Bengalis, and I use my Bengalis and love them to death. But there's still a lot of activations, just like today. Today, when I activated, I was activating on that key that Robbie made me. I really like that key.
I appreciate that.
So
I do too. I got a lot of handmade keys. I don't have the one that Robbie made, but I got the one that you made from that, type.
That's why you didn't get one from me. But Dan got one on Christmas.
And
this past year, right?
That's right. And
we all wanted one. And so I emailed the guy, and he goes, man, you can print it yourself if you want to.
Yep.
It's on printables. And
I mean,
so
I use my Begalis out in the field. I use my Bamatech TP3, but every now and again, it's just good to take a 3D printed key out of and not drive the Porsche around for a while. Just, hop in the El Camino and have some fun. You know what I mean?
Curtis says he don't discriminate. He even runs FT4.
I saw that.
I don't understand why more people does not run FT4. FT4 is twice as fast as FT8 and works just the same, except it's faster. Yep. Why does everybody flock to FT8 and not FT4? I just don't understand that.
I love running some FT4 because a lot of times you'll go to FT4, you'll be the only one there. But then if the RB end is kind, and this is what happened to me, the RB end didn't pick me up one time when I was on FT4. So I only had a trickle of people that just happened to come across me. Probably weren't even folks that hunted POTA, just saw I was there. But you're right. And it's a lot of fun and it really keeps your mouse busy.
There's a lot more people on FT8, but FT4 is faster, more fun. But keep in mind, guys, if you get the Ultra Extra, you do have a FT2 available to you, which is twice as fast as FT4.
Wow.
That's
so
right.
It's only 3.75 seconds.
Yes, sir. It's a very fast mode, and the error correction is just phenomenal. I mean,
it's got forward and reverse error correction.
That is absolutely correct. Yep. But it's only with the Ultra Extra, so you do have to get with Robbie in order to get your test in, because right now he's the only VE that can give it to you.
That's right. And the questions are not published for that one.
That's right.
With the answers. Eddie is saying, you use your mouse? Yes, because RF gets into the Evolve 3's touchpad. Oh boy, that screen goes crazy when you do that.
Listen, I got a funny story about that.
Do it.
So the worst band condition day ever. I mean, like ever. It was the day that I went up and did the high summit thing for the soda. And I was up there, and that was the day that I spent 3 hours and 57 minutes, I think it was, to get 17 contacts. Okay. And most of those were 2 meters. But, it's when the northern lights were going on and everybody was taking all the pictures and stuff. But I kept hearing this weird interference noise, and I could not figure out what it was. And then Sherry finally said, "That's your laptop." I said, "I use this laptop every activation. It's never done it." She said, "It's your laptop." She said, "Touch your mouse pad." And I would touch my mouse pad, and it would sound like I was pulling the switch to the electric chair. And sure enough, there was something in the air that day that was causing, every time I touched that mouse pad, it was nuts. So,
all right. So on a side note here, if you don't want your drink koozie to get stolen, go ahead and hold that koozie up again.
Oh,
Rob.
yeah. I was wondering if Scott was here.
You don't want your drink koozie to get stolen. Put your face on it.
I did not put my face on this. This was my Christmas gift
that is awesome.
From Whiskey 4 Golf Sierra. And I'm going to tell you right now, I have left drinks. This is not an advertisement. We're not sponsored by these people, but this thing keeps this thing cold even in hot weather.
Nice.
It doesn't take me long to drink them usually though, but when I teach and I keep one on my desk, I can go back to it 2 or 3 hours later and it's still cold and fizzy.
Well,
Thank you, Scott, again.
I'll tell you what, since that was not a sponsor or advertisement, I will throw in a sponsor or advertisement. So Robbie received that, and Dan received that key that we were talking about just a few minutes ago. Both of them received them at a Patreon Christmas party that we did in my Patreon. I mean, that's another thing. I've said it many times. Our Patreons are thick as thieves. We do Christmas parties. We do the works. And our Christmas parties, I swear, I always see some of the coolest gifts given out.
Just wait for next year. Well, this year.
This year, because I'm always the one. we draw the names, and I'm always the one that sends them. Nobody knows who's got who besides me and the person who helped me draw the names, which will be Dan this year. And so that we're the only two people that knows who's got who.
I think I'm gonna gift somebody an Ultra Extra.
So this year I'm just gonna send everybody like my name, and then I'll get all the gifts.
There you go.
I'm kidding, because that means I would have to buy everybody a gift then.
Yep, and I think we've probably mentioned your Discord at least 3 times now. Hint, hint, if you are not over there, guys. Gals,
no,
everybody.
No, PP man, you don't need FT2 software. FT2 just works, my friend. It doesn't need software.
No, it uses Notepad, PP man.
Yeah.
Or Gedit if you're a Linux person.
Freeze-dried brisket, Eddie says. Can I make that into a cone?
We might. That actually, we should try that.
Yeah.
Nitrogen can't be that hard to get a hold of. Liquid nitrogen.
No, especially if you have a contact, say, who's somebody who's good in the science, area of, say, a school.
Who would that be?
I don't know. I have to find somebody.
I'll ask around.
Yeah. No. We're not pulling anybody's coax about FT2. It's available with the Ultra Extra class of license.
I wonder if that's what test I'm going to be taking very soon. I am studying for a new license for amateur radio, and I am already an extra, but I'm not saying what license I'm studying for.
Well, I'm telling you, it's the Ultra Extra, so you can run FT2 on 35 meters. I mean, that's what it is.
Kyle, I have mentioned your call sign, not your name, but your call sign at least 4 times now.
His ears were burning.
Thanks for getting here late.
Kyle would probably really enjoy that ice cream too. We're going to make a brisket flavored ice cream, Kyle. What do you think?
Yeah.
I really don't hear anything bad coming out of that.
I don't either.
Because think about like bacon and like sweet bacon. I think that would be good. Some brisket ice cream. That's something we could try without needing liquid nitrogen.
No, Terry, I'm not studying for a CB license. I can get that on 80 meters anytime. Kyle was knocking his balls back and forth, and it ran long, he said.
Bourbon and bacon ice cream. I can see that.
Or bourbon and brisket. I mean, bourbon, bacon, and brisket. Is that bad?
That's going to be the next topic in the Patreon business meeting. Starting the Patreon ice cream shop.
I mean, yep, you got the guys out there selling their coffee, and my logo just disappeared.
All right, so we got a couple minutes left. Speaking of ice cream,
holy cow, are you serious?
We have totally derailed this stream with ice cream, but I need to know this, and I'm sure everybody else does too. Listen very closely. If you prefer the sugar waffle cones, put a 1 in the chat. If you just the regular sugar ice cream cones, put a 2 in the chat. The waffle cone, 1 in the chat. The regular plain Jane ice cream cones, a 2 in the chat. I want to see where we all are here. This ought to be interesting. So far, the chat is not letting me down.
Not at all. Oh, Eddie just.
Okay.
I've learned a few things about my friend that I this last week, and I was just like, how did I not know that?
See, I'm surrounding myself with all these ones.
Well, Terry's weird, so we'll forgive him.
Eddie, you just put yourself in the same category as Terry. That's what you have done.
I think the waffle cones are where it's at. Now, I'll eat them out of either one. Don't get me wrong.
But a waffle cone
is
usually bigger. And if the waffle cone is all that you have left, it's
Ron.
tastier.
Ron said he eats it straight from the carton. I don't blame you there either, brother. That's a good.
And if you said number 2, you probably should just eat it straight from the carton and eat the carton too.
Right.
If you said number 2 was Robbie on the stream, you're expecting a quick ice cream anyway.
God, I was just about to go there. Thank you, James. Thank you. I was just about to say it. Because if you said number 2, it tastes like crap.
Robbie, we appreciate you coming on and being the turd wheel here.
I love being the turd wheel. Hey, when James,
you know, so much from that Patreon activation where Robbie did the Robbie can poopy.
That's right.
Thing, and you know, he came back and we was making fun of him, and he said, "This is the turd operator." And every time I get around the roses or I listen to them on their activations, I hear one of them say, "Turd operator."
That's just something that
that's why as influencers, we do have to be careful.
There's always an Easter egg with Robbie.
That's right.
You just might have to watch it first.
And he's always the turd operator.
There's a word that Eddie and I use in our activations that nobody stop. People can read lips.
Okay.
But we have yet to be called out on it.
Oh, I say it too, and nobody ever says anything.
It's the funniest thing. Yeah. So that is some food for thought for you know, James asked me to come on. He said we might get you some new subscribers. I appreciate everybody that watches the channel, and I know James can say the same thing for his channel, Dan, and there's quite a few of you that have your own channels in the chat. It's fun to see what we do, you know, and I like to share my knowledge. Some of the project videos that I do, yeah, they're a little long, but they show you step by step how to do it. And James had mentioned the key. I sell, you know, if you go buy the parts for that key, you're going to invest $70, $80, $90 unless you have a good hardware store where you can nickel and dime single pieces. I do sell those on my website at W1RCP.com. And I want to say it's EST. He's bought about a dozen of them from me.
I'm going to drop the link a couple more times here in the chat. Everybody go check out Robbie's channel at Whiskey One Radio Charlie Papa on YouTube. He is he's a teacher by profession. So the way he presents his information to help you learn things is excellent. He knows
until ADD kicks in and I don't finish a whole sentence. It is in there. It does happen.
That's right.
There's a support group for that, Michael. The problem is that's not an exaggeration. There's already people thinking that, Michael.
He's hitting the DTs already. Well, hey, James, I appreciate you having me on tonight, and it has definitely been a lot of fun hanging out with y'all tonight, face to face instead of just chatting away. Thank you.
Hey, no problem. And if you're not subscribed, listen, his channel's so good. I actually unsubscribed just so I could resubscribe to it.
You're the one. You did that today, but before lunch.
No.
It had to be.
I actually just actually did. We did it. I was flipping over to your page because I was going to put the link up, and then Dan said, "I'm dropping the link in the chat," and I was mousing over it, and I accidentally hit unsubscribe, so I had to resubscribe.
Somebody else unsubscribed today, and then they came back later. Y'all tripping me out.
Mine was instant. You got an unsubscribe and a subscribe instant. So.
That's awesome.
Well, hey, you know it wasn't me because I would have waited till you got right to 1,000 and then unsubscribe. And then subscribe back.
Let me tell you, Eddie, I'm gonna give KO Ford of Lubba a shout out because he sure was trying to get it was stuck at 996 for at least a week.
Yeah.
We should have brought you on the stream and done a countdown. And you'd be like, all right, 999, and me and Dan both unsubscribe.
That would have been great. Well, hey, James, what's happening after the stream?
After the stream, we are heading over to After Chat. if you don't know what After Chat is, it is another Patreon benefit, which we are full of benefits over there. But if you want to, you can head over to Patreon and get a free 7-day trial and come check it out. If you message myself or Dan in Discord, and we get to put you into benefits, because for some reason it does not give me notifications of people who signed up for the free trial. But just go over there and try it out for free, and then message myself or Dan, and we'll get you right in. Hopefully, I'll see some new faces in there tonight. Other than that, videos every day of the week and activating every day of the videos every day of the weekday and activating every day of the week. There we go.
That's a tongue twister.
Anything coming up on your channel real quick before we go, Robbie?
Yeah, absolutely. If you subscribe, you're going to see I'm doing some WinLink stuff coming up, different modes of WinLink. I'm doing connectors for the DigiRig. If you have a DigiRig and want to connect it to other things, that's coming up. And I recently re-signed up for ARES, Amateur Radio Emergency Service, just another way to give back. And so I'm focusing a lot on disaster preparation, not just for ARES, but for myself.
You know what? I think an interesting video for you to do, Robbie, would be how to set up and run PSK, whatever it is.
PSK 31.
Yeah.
If you go listen to the rant about FT hate on my channel, you'll have to get it in 1080p and full screen it. But I actually installed FL Digi and did a PSK 31 as B-roll for that video, bottom right-hand corner.
Okay.
I don't know if it shows installing it. I think it just shows that, but hey, I'll do it. PSK 31 is where I got my start as a technician on 10 meters.
That's right up your alley, and that's something that I'm interested in learning myself. So,
all right, thank you. As a supporter of my channel as well, sir, I will definitely make that happen.
All right, guys, we're heading over to After Chat. Thanks everybody for the super chats, including Sherry for the very big one, and we'll catch everybody on the air. 73, everybody.
Good night.